On the 5th of February, the Congress party vowed stir for hijab, and now protests have erupted in Pakistan. And the BJP has slammed Congress party, alleging a link between the Congress and Pakistan as far as these protests are concerned. Let's go across to Pranesh, my colleague, for more on this. Pranesh, BJP has slammed the Congress party, says there's a clear link between Cong and Pak.
Absolutely. Kanis Fatima, who's a Congress MLA, Swati, had on 5th of February, like you said, openly vowed a massive protest. She said that if the verdict does not come in our favor, if the verdict does not allow hijab inside classrooms, we will launch a massive protest. And today, protests are taking place where? Not in Karnataka, but in Karachi in Pakistan. First pictures played out on Times Now. Look at the number of people there doing hangama over hijab on the streets in Pakistan. And this is after two Pakistani ministers put out a tweet on a day when Congress escalated the protest, and the BJP is linking the two. The BJP has linked the two to say that Congress started it here and Pakistan has now got a handle, which is why they are doing this. And look at the placards here. The placards, some of them, they are suggesting that we want justice. Who is doing injustice to people in Pakistan? Pakistan has got nothing to do with this. This is about India. It's about our laws here. It's about a case which is being heard by the Karnataka High Court. Hearing will resume at 2:30, and ahead of that, you have these scenes unfolding on the streets in Pakistan. And I want to open this up now, Swati. Pradeep Datta, Deepak Bopanna, Imran also with us. Pradeep, what do you make of this? Karachi, not Karnataka.
Pradeep, you're not audible. Can you switch on the mic?
Congress, the same Congress party.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Karnataka to Karachi, in fact, the template remains the same, and who is providing them handle? It's Congress party, because they are the one, as Pranesh rightly said, on February 5th, they had said that if the verdict will not be in their favor, they are going to come out on street. And one question should be asked to Pakistan: who are they to interfere and meddle into the internal affairs of the country? In fact, 3 days back, only spokesperson of Ministry of External Affairs, Arindam Bagchi, he gave a very strong response both to America as well as Pakistan, that this is an internal matter, and India is a vibrant democracy. There's a system in place. If there is any issue, that will be resolved. And already court is looking into the matter is sub judice. So where is the question of just because the only reason is that Congress is trying to destabilize? For them, this is an issue. Not that they are really concerned about Muslims or they are really concerned about hijab. This is only their visceral hatred for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, that they always look for rhyme and they always look for one
stay
reason
on with us. We have Shehzad Poonawalla and Brijesh Kalappa joining us in the broadcast. Shehzad Poonawalla, Congress party vows protest. Protests start erupting in Karachi in Pakistan. Now you're alleging that there's a direct link between Cong and Pak. Why?
देखिए, जब भी कांग्रेस का मिलता है साथ, तो पाकिस्तान को ही मिलता है साथ, whether it's 370 सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक, बालाकोट एयर स्ट्राइक, एंड therefore today the question being asked is कि कर्नाटका में हिजाब की आग और पाकिस्तान में बना विवाद, कराची में बना विवाद, तो इसके पीछे क्या है हिसाब किताब? The हिसाब किताब is that Congress party and Pakistan, time and again on various issues, are the ones who sing in one tune. You remember how Priyanka Vajpayee tweeted about the hijab issue, and within an hour, Pakistan started raising it. Now, this is the same Pakistan that has no local standard to speak on issues of human rights or issues of Mahila Adhikar. But this is the Congress party that time and again gives Pakistan a handle to speak about issues in India. And therefore, it is the Congress party that has made this an issue and fed propaganda about it and is now allowed Pakistan a handle.
Okay, those are serious allegations. I request you to stay on with us, Shehzad Poonawalla, as we take a counter from Mr. Brijesh Kalappa. Please go ahead, Mr. Kalappa.
The first is that the BJP government, led by Mr. Modi, appears to, confirm the fact, and I think even the spokesperson today confirms the fact, that they are incompetent, inept, and completely useless. For the last 7.5 years, they've been making the same allegations. They have not been able to further these allegations. They should have taken these allegations before a court of law. What's the point of making these allegations in public channels like yours? You're not going to prove us that, we are traitorous and so on and so forth. First thing is, if the Modi government had any spine, they should have taken this to the court of law. They should have proved that there is a nexus between the Congress party and Pakistan. Instead of making these frivolous, silly allegations on television, I think the first thing that the BJP should do is actually take this up. Go to, the court of law, prove it. Prove that there is a case of treason or there is a case of sedition and do something on this. For the last 7.5 years, they've been doing exactly the same thing. Coming and, having all kinds of frivolous, stupid allegations made on national television, wasting people's time. And, some of these channels also, they're pandering to these...
Well, according to you, it's a waste of time, but on ground, the impact and the way this is resonating in Pakistan is clear. Shehzad Poonawalla, your counter.
Look, I am surprised Brajesh ji did not even once condemn Pakistan, that don't interfere in our internal affairs. This shows that Congress orders, Pakistan does. And as far as filing cases, it's not an issue of court of law, sir. It's an issue of court of public. And in the court of public, people have seen how Mani Shankar Iyer went to Pakistan and said that please help us remove Narendra Modi. People have seen how Shashi Tharoor runs to Pakistani platforms. People have seen how Rahul Gandhi has spoken in the same voice as Pakistan on Article 370, and Vijay Singh has done the same. And in the court of public opinion, the people have declared that Congress equals PPP, Pakistan Parast Party, and therefore, today, Congress raises the issue of hijab. Pakistan mein lagate hain aag. This is the connection, this is the rishta of Congress and Pakistan, not on one issue, on every issue.
All right, stay on with us, Shehzad Poonawalla and Brajesh Kalappa. Let's show our viewers what that link is that the BJP is talking about. Let's listen into the statement that was given by Congress MLA Kaniz Fatima.
8 तारीख को कोर्ट में इसका जजमेंट है। उसके बाद इंशाल्लाह ताला हम कोई उम्मीद है पूरी कि हमारे हक में आएगा वो। अगर नहीं है बोले तो हम जो यहाँ पे जमा हुए हैं पूरे रोडों पे निकलेंगे। हम लोग रोडों पे निकल के हम लोग स्ट्राइक करेंगे और जहाँ तक हम जो है इंशाल्लाह ताला ये जंग हम जीतेंगे।
Let's quickly go across to Pradeep Datta. Pradeep, the Congress party once again ending up giving a handle to Pakistan. These are internal affairs of India, and it's not that there is a ban on hijab. Here is a matter which is being heard by the Karnataka High Court, which is about uniformity in dress code inside the classroom in an educational institute.
You're absolutely right. In fact, from day one, what we had been trying to tell here on channel, that this is not ban on hijab. Nobody's preventing or stopping Muslims from wearing hijab. It's only about the uniformity in classroom, because once you enter a classroom, you are neither Hindu, Muslim, Sikh or a Christian. All is what actually now what the people are trying to do. They are trying to even communalize the classroom and polarize the atmosphere for the vote bank. That's what exactly is happening. So that's one of the reasons that people are just pointing fingers towards Congress. Rightly said by Shehzad Poonawalla, nobody is in fact condemning and criticizing and asking Pakistan not to meddle into the internal affairs of India. See, Pakistan cannot preach India. Everybody knows what they did today. There had been a Talibani diktat in one of the medical colleges in Islamabad, where they had been asking girls to wear hijab, cover their neckline, also cover their chest, and the boys are being asked to wear the white cap. So if it was a part of Islam, if it was mandatory, if it was obligatory, why the Muslims had not been wearing hijab there? Why somebody has to force them? That means this is an Arabic culture that is borrowed from Arab. Now the people in different parts of the world, they're trying to implement it. It's because of the rise of Islamist radical. And
right. And is the Congress party in that case promoting this culture and regressive mindset? Danish Qureshi.
Ma'am, I want to clear one thing, that instead of giving a message by politicians to the debates of the country that they are secular, Prime Minister of the country is going to take a part in the religious program, bureaucracy is doing the same thing, and we demand secular behavior from the student of the schools and colleges. How it is possible? First of all, we have to understand that...
How was it possible till December 2021? How was it possible till then?
It's not about 2021. Remember one thing, those who don't want to use hijab, they are not being forced.
There are committees in these educational institutions that prescribe uniform, that students abide by, that parents abide by. They give an undertaking to these educational institutions that they'll abide by the dress code. And then all of a sudden, these protests start erupting.
To supersede the constitution of the country. Any law can be enacted by any educational institute.
Do you want to supersede the proceedings in the court?
This is not superseding. This is
the Karnataka High Court has said that we should deeply examine. We should deeply examine. This issue needs deep examination. Okay, stay on with us, Danish Qureshi. We have Maruf Raza joining us on the broadcast as well. Maruf Raza, the Congress party talks about protest against the Karnataka government's directive in favor of hijab, and you see protests erupting in Pakistan, in Karachi. Is Congress party once again giving a handle to Pakistan by raising these issues?
No, I don't think that will be a fair assessment. The Congress party has got its own agenda, and that is to oppose the government at every level. Pakistan's agenda is to look for areas where they can find some flaws or some dissent within the Indian system that they can highlight to show that Indian democracy is not as honky-dory as India makes it out to be. Both of them are misplaced, and both of them have got their basic focus wrong. The hijab issue is something that the more you play up, the more it will become a contestable issue. The more you play it down, the more there is likelihood that the courts will give a sensible decision, which I'm confident they will. What Pakistan says and does is really of no interest to me, because Pakistan themselves have a lot of questions to answer about how the Punjabi Muslims treat the other communities of the Muslim community in Pakistan, whether the Baluchis, Sindhis or Pathans, Pakhtuns, and how they treat their women in a variety of areas where women have been...
Absolutely. Maruf, we have some breaking inputs coming in, but thank you very much for taking those questions. Thank you to our guests and Pradeep Datta as well.